This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away from May to June in 2012 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Anne Rutherford. She was born in November 1917 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 94 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart failure. Anne Rutherford was an American actress best known for playing Karen O'Hara in Gone with the Wind. She was also a regular in the Andy Hardy film series. Her wholesome image made her a favorite in 1930s and 1940s Hollywood. Susan Tyrell. She was born in March 1945 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 67 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Susan Tyrell was an Oscar-nominated actress known for her eccentric and intense performances. She earned critical acclaim for her role in Fat City. Tyrell had a cult following and was also active in experimental theater. Doris Singleton. She was born in September 1919 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 92 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications from cancer. Doris Singleton was best known as Carolyn Appleby, Lucy's friend and rival in I Love Lucy. A seasoned radio actress before television, she had a long career in classic television. Singleton brought humor and grace to every supporting role. Ivette Wilson. She was born in March 1964 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 48 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cervical cancer. Ivette Wilson was a beloved sitcom actress known for her role as Andell Wilkerson on Moesha and the Parkers. Her comic timing and warm screen presence endeared her to fans. She also worked as a stand-up comedian. Judy Agnew. She was born in April 1921 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 91 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was pneumonia. Judy Agnew was the wife of Spiro Agnew, vice president under Richard Nixon. She held the ceremonial role of Second Lady. She remained largely out of the political spotlight. Norah Efron. She was born in May 1941 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 71 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was leukemia. Norah Efron was a celebrated screenwriter and director, known for iconic romantic comedies like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. Her wit and insight redefined modern film romance. Efron also penned best-selling essays and books. Richard Dawson. He was born in November 1932 and he died in June 2012. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was esophageal cancer. Richard Dawson charmed audiences as the original host of Family Feud and as Corporal New Craig on Hogan's Heroes. Known for his quick wit and kissing contestants, he was a television staple for decades. Don Grady. He was born in June 1944 and he died in June 2012. His age was 68 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Don Grady was an original musketeer who later became best known for his role as Robbie Douglas on My Three Sons. A talented musician, he also composed film and television scores. Grady was a teen idol in the 1960s. Richard Lynch. He was born in February 1940 and he died in June 2012. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Richard Lynch was known for his rugged looks and villainous roles in film and television. He frequently appeared in action and science fiction genres. Lynch's intense performances gave life to complex antagonists. Katherine Jon. She was born in December 1939 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 72 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Katherine Jon gained fame later in life as Karen Mikulski on Desperate Housewives. She won 2 Emmys and also appeared in The West Wing. Her perseverance in her later acting career inspired many. Frank Katy. He was born in September 1915 and he died in June 2012. His age was 96 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Frank Katy was best known for playing Sam Drucker in 3 television series: Green Acres, Petticoat Junction, and the Beverly Hillbillies. A familiar face in rural sitcoms, he was beloved for his comic timings. Donna Summer, she was born in December 1948 and she died in May 2012. Her age was 63 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Donna Summer was the queen of disco, with multiple chart-topping hits in the 1970s. Her powerful voice and energetic performances defined an era. Summer was also a 5-time Grammy winner and music innovator. Hal Jackson, he was born in November 1915 and he died in May 2012. His age was 96 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Hal Jackson was a pioneering African-American radio personality and broadcaster. He broke racial barriers and mentored countless talents. Jackson co-founded Inner City Broadcasting and helped shape urban radio. Carroll Shelby, he was born in January 1923 and he died in May 2012. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart complication. Carroll Shelby was a legendary race car driver turned car designer, famed for creating the Shelby Cobra and Mustang GT500. His innovations revolutionized American muscle cars. Shelby left a legacy in both racing and automotive design. Lil Fat, he was born in July 1992 and he died in June 2012. His age was 19 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was gunshot wound. Lil Fat was an emerging rapper associated with Trill Entertainment. He was known for his southern hip-hop style and youthful energy. His promising career was tragically cut short by violence. Doc Watson, he was born in March 1923 and he died in May 2012. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from surgery. Doc Watson was a blind American folk guitarist and singer renowned for his flat-picking technique. He preserved and revitalized Appalachian music traditions. A Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, he influenced generations. Carl Bean, he was born in September 1952 and he died in May 2012. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Carl Bean was a beloved public address announcer for the Boston Red Sox. Known for his resonant voice, he became a staple of Fenway Park. He had a background in both radio and sports journalism. Bob Welch, he was born in August 1945 and he died in June 2012. His age was 66 at the time of his death, and he took his own life. Bob Welch was a former guitarist and vocalist for the Fleetwood Mac before launching a successful solo career. His smooth blend of rock and pop earned him several hits. Welch bridged Fleetwood Mac's early and later styles. J. Michael Rea, he was born in June 1948 and he died in June 2012. His age was 63 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. J. Michael Rea was an acclaimed production designer behind many visual iconic Hollywood films. His work spanned decades, shaping blockbusters and Oscar contenders alike. He came from lineage of entertainment royalty. Ray Bradbury, he was born in August 1920 and he died in June 2012. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ray Bradbury was one of America's greatest science fiction writers. His imaginative and poetic storytelling influenced literature, film, and pop culture. Bradbury's work often explored censorship, technology, and human nature. Vidal Sassoon, he was born in January 1928 and he died in May 2012. His age was 84 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was leukemia. Vidal Sassoon revolutionized hairstyling with his geometric cuts and modernist approach. He built a global brand that combined fashion and function. Sassoon was also known for philanthropy and advocacy for Jewish causes. Jean Craighead George, she was born in July 1919 and she died in May 2012. Her age was 92 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications of congestive heart failure. Jean Craighead George was an award-winning author of children's and young adult books. centered on nature and survival. Her books inspired environmental consciousness in generations of readers. She wrote more than 100 works. Herbert Brazlin, he was born in October 1924 and he died in May 2012. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Herbert Brazlin was a renowned publicist and manager best known for guiding the career of opera legend Luciano Pavarotti. He played a key role in bringing opera to mainstream audiences. Brazlin later wrote a candid memoir about the industry. Jack Benoya, he was born in July 1921 and he died in May 2012. His age was 90 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was Parkinson's disease. Jack Benoya was a real estate magnate and major philanthropic figure in Seattle. His contributions to the arts, health, and education left a lasting legacy. Benoya Hall stands as a testament to his community impact. Elinor Olstrom, she was born in August 1933 and she died in June 2012. Her age was 78 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was cancer. Elinor Olstrom was the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. Her research on collective resource management challenged conventional economic theory. She championed community-based solutions and decentralized governance. Andrew Sarris, he was born in October 1928 and he died in June 2012. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were infection complications. Andrew Sarris was a highly influential American film critic who popularized the auteur theory in the United States. He wrote The Village Voice and taught generations of film students. His work reshaped how critics analyze cinema. William Standish Nulls, he was born in June 1917 and he died in June 2012. His age was 95 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. William S. Nulls was a Nobel Prize-winning chemist who pioneered asymmetric catalysis. His work revolutionized pharmaceutical production. He shared the Nobel with Ryoji Noyori for their groundbreaking research. Rodney King, he was born in April 1965 and he died in June 2012. His age was 47 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was accidental drowning. Rodney King became a central figure in the national conversation about police brutality after his 1991 beating by LAPD officers. The subsequent acquittals led to the 1992 Los Angeles riots. King later advocated for peace and reconciliation. Jerry McMorris, he was born in October 1940 and he died in May 2012. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Jerry McMorris was instrumental in bringing Major League Baseball to Colorado. As a founding owner of the Rockies, he played a key role in their early development. He was respected for his leadership and vision. Bertram Kohler, he was born in December 1938 and he died in May 2012. His age was 73 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was pneumonia. Bertram Kohler was a respected scholar of psychoanalysis and human development. He published extensively on life stories, identity, and LGBT psychology. A longtime professor at the University of Chicago, he mentored countless students. Maurice Sandak, he was born in June 1928 and he died in May 2012. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from stroke. Maurice Sandak was a visionary author and illustrator whose work redefined children's literature. His classic Where the Wild Things Are enchanted generations with its depth and honesty. Sandak was also known for his fearless, often dark storytelling. Abdul Basit Al-Megrahi, he was born in April 1952 and he died in May 2012. His age was 60 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was prostate cancer. Abdul Basit Al-Megrahi was a former Libyan intelligence officer convicted for Lockerbie bombing of Pan Am Flight 103. His release on medical grounds sparked international controversy. He maintained his innocence until his death. Stay High 149. He was born in October 1950 and he died in June 2012. His age was 61 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was liver disease. Stay High 149, born Wayne Roberts, was a pioneering figure in New York City's graffiti scene. Known for his signature smoker tag and spiritual messages, he helped elevate street art into cultural recognition. His work remains influential in hip-hop and urban art. Henry Hill. He was born in June 1943 and he died in June 2012. His age was 69 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications of heart disease. Henry Hill was a former mobster whose life inspired the classic film Goodfellas. After turning informant, he helped convict dozens of organized crime members. Hill lived under witness protection before becoming a public figure. Leroy Neman. He was born in June 1921 and he died in June 2012. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Leroy Neman was a flamboyant American artist, known for his vividly colored portraits of athletes and celebrities. His work graced magazines, arenas, and galleries. Neman captured the spirit of sports and spectacle like few others. Gary Buckley. He was born in September 1922 and he died in May 2012. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Gary Buckley was a Vermont politician who served as lieutenant governor in 1970s. A moderate Republican, he contributed to state infrastructure and education reforms. His legacy includes dedication to bipartisan cooperation. William C. Wampsler. He was born in April 1926 and he died in May 2012. His age was 86 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. William C. Wampsler was a long-serving congressman representing Virginia's 9th District. He focused on agriculture and veterans affairs. Wampsler was the patriarch of a prominent political family in the state. Cotton Owens. He was born in May 1924 and he died in June 2012. His age was 88 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Cotton Owens was a legendary NASCAR driver and mechanic who won dozens of races and mentored champions like David Pearson. Known as the King of Modifieds, he left an indelible mark on stock car racing. Owens was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame in 2013. Johnny Tapia. He was born in February 1967 and he died in May 2012. His age was 45 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Johnny Tapia was a fierce and emotional boxer whose tumultuous life paralleled his storied career. A 5-time world champion, he overcame addiction and tragedy to captivate fans. Tapia's resilience made him a boxing icon. Orlando Woolridge. He was born in December 1959 and he died in May 2012. His age was 52 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart condition. Orlando Woolridge was a high-flying NBA forward, known for his scoring ability and athleticism. He played for several teams including the Lakers and the Bulls. Woolridge later coached and mentored young athletes. Pete Brennan. He was born in September 1936 and he died in June 2012. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was prostate cancer. Pete Brennan was an All-American basketball star at the University of North Carolina. He was a key player in their storied program during the 1950s. Brennan later contributed to the game as a coach and mentor. Dave Boswell. He was born in January 1945 and he died in June 2012. His age was 67 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Dave Boswell was a right-handed pitcher best known for his time with Minnesota Twins during the 1960s. He posted solid stats and helped lead the Twins to the 1965 World Series. Boswell was remembered for his grit and effectiveness on the mound. Robert J. Kalaher. He was born in March 1913 and he died in June 2012. His age was 99 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Robert J. Kalaher was a federal judge and influential tennis administrator. He captained the United States Davis Cup team to victory in 1963 and promoted the Open era in tennis. Kalaher later served decades on the federal bench. John T. Cunningham. He was born in June 1915 and he died in June 2012. His age was 96 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John T. Cunningham was a prolific author and journalist who chronicled New Jersey's history. His books were stable in regional education. Known for making history accessible, he preserved the state's heritage in print. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.